League and San Antonio FC, promotes good sportsmanship by athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the athletes and officials in a positive manner. Offensive language, including resources such as comments or other intimidating actions directed at officials, athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the site of competition. Please refrain from throwing objects on the plane, entering the plane, and interfering in the flow of the game. Violators may be arrested and escorted off the premises. Thank you for your cooperation. Good evening and welcome to Toyota Field. Tonight's matchup features Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2
Week 23 of the United Soccer League season arrives a little earlier this week. San Antonio FC is back at home after 2 matches on the road, and on a rare Wednesday evening, they welcome in Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2. Thanks so much for joining us. Along with Lance Key, I'm Dan Weiss. It's great to have you with us here this evening. Well, San Antonio FC is back at home after 2 matches on the road and not getting the results that they wanted. They lost 2-0 in Reno a couple of Saturdays ago, and then a 0-0 draw with OKC Energy FC this past Saturday up in Oklahoma. Was the 5th time in 6 overall meetings against OKC that they've walked away with just 1 point. And Lance, now they're back at home. 2 big matches for them against 2 of the bottom teams in the Western Conference table. Tonight against Vancouver, Portland coming up on Saturday. 6 very important points for this club.
Absolutely. You're seeing 2 teams coming up over this next week that are comprised mostly of a lot of young players for these 2 MLS sides. And so it's a time where SAFC really needs to refine their groove, find their rhythm again, and become the team that they were early in the season that we saw really dominating teams and really taking it to teams and sort of dictating the rhythm, dictating the flow of the game. We've seen that start to subside over the last 8 matches. In particular, they've only gotten 8 points out of those matches. It's a time where they've got to reestablish themselves and really push forward this last third of the season. It
wasn't a long time ago, Lance, when we were looking at the table and seeing how much of a cushion San Antonio FC had, not only on a home field playoff spot, but on the number 3 team in the standings. Well, that's completely changed because of just 1 win in their last 8 matches. San Antonio FC is now 1 point up on Swope Park Rangers for 3rd, and they are only 3 points up on 4th place Reno, who's gone on an unbelievable charge. And even Sacramento, with a game in hand on San Antonio FC, starting to creep up the table. They're only 8 points back for challenging for a home field playoff spot. So where maybe a month ago we thought San Antonio FC was in a great position to secure a home field playoff spot, now with 10 matches left in the season, it's not really a guarantee anymore for them.
Well, absolutely not, but seasons are going to ebb and flow. You saw Real Monarchs and SAFC really set the tone at the beginning of the season, push themselves out in front by a considerable distance. Well, as the season's gone on, this middle third of the season, you've seen some teams at the lower end of the table really start to find their rhythm during the middle of the season and start to collect those points, whereas as I said earlier, 8 points out of the last 8 matches for SAFC, all that's going to do is allow those teams to catch up. And that's why this weekend and this game tonight is really a start of 6 very important points that they need to get.
That's exactly what the other teams have done. Now, for San Antonio FC, the good news is that their upcoming schedule is very favorable. 10 matches remaining, and after tonight, 5 of them, even though they're on the road, which includes a very tough road trip out west in the early part of September. Only 4 games against current playoff teams. One of those teams is Tampa Bay in the Eastern Conference, which doesn't really impact San Antonio as far as a 6-point swing game, so to speak. So it's a favorable schedule, but you still have to take advantage of it and claim those 3 points to gain results.
Most definitely. The matches have to be played. All right, the matches have to be played. It's a favorable schedule, but it's what you do with the favorable schedule. As you said, it's really a great lineup of games for them at this point in the season, needing to do what they have to do, which is start to get those 3 points per match and refine that form they had early on. You know, and this is the time to really be able to do that, as you said, with those 2 matches in particular this week will really give us a good idea of what the rest of the season is going to look like.
One of the players we'll focus on tonight for San Antonio FC is one of their newest acquisitions, Omar Gordon, who played for that unbelievable Jamaican team at the Gold Cup just a month ago. He led the Reggae Boys to the final before they lost against Team USA. He was signed last week, will make his 2nd appearance tonight, and should hopefully inject some life into the offense up front.
Absolutely. It's a great addition to a team that really needs something a little bit different to see if they can't find their way out of that lull that they were in. Obviously, on the heels of Rafa Castillo going out, it's a great time, and I think a player who's going to be able to inject exactly that life that they need moving forward this way the rest of the season.
Rafa Castillo will miss his 2nd straight game tonight due to an injury suffered a couple of weeks ago. For Vancouver Whitecaps FC2, as you mentioned, a team that's built on youth, and we're going to see a lot of teenagers in the lineup for them, a lot of players that have graduated from their residency program, including this one, Marco Bustos, who leads their team in scoring. He's played 4 times with the first team. Of course, Vancouver Whitecaps FC2 is the USL affiliate of Vancouver Whitecaps FC. He's an exciting player that San Antonio FC will have to focus on tonight.
Most definitely. He's sitting on 6 goals in 12 matches thus far this year. He's a dynamic player. He's a player that the back line and through midfield is really going to have to do a good job of getting tight, not allowing the time to turn and run at them and be creative in that final third of the field. He's certainly a player to watch.
He was recognized as one of the most promising players in the Vancouver Whitecaps FC Academy back in 2013. He's also been capped 4 times by the Canadian national team. As San Antonio FC Lance prepares to come back home and play these important matches, what sticks out for you tonight as what this group needs to focus on, and really starting with tonight to make sure they walk out of here with the 3 points?
Well, you know, I think simplicity is sophistication, right? They've got to just sort of tighten down the nuts and bolts, get back to the things that they did earlier in the season where they were in good form and they were playing with a tremendous amount of confidence and really playing collaboratively. You know, I think sometimes as lulls happen in the season, players start to take things upon themselves. I think if they can come back to that original concept when they started the season where they really were playing well together, collaborating, working hard for one another, that's something they need to do at home in front of their home crowd these next couple of games to set them forward this last stretch of the season.
Well, with 2 matches this week, San Antonio FC will have a different look tonight. We'll show you that in just a minute. Meanwhile, Chris Tierpak, he had a brace in the Western Conference Finals a year ago against Vancouver. We'll look to lead San Antonio FC to the 3 points here tonight at Toyota Field. Our starting 11 and kick when we return after this.
So I'm cruising here in my new Camry. You know, just following the nav's predictive traffic. That's when I saw smoke coming from the pet store. I called 911 on the Bluetooth and began the rescue. The owner gave me this as a reward. His name is Senor Bandito.
Wait, you got a new Camry?
The 2017 Camry with sporty looks and the latest tech. It'll surprise a few people. Toyota, let's go places.
How can we help?
Birthday party. Hungry kids need food.
Are you baking a cake? We've got milk and eggs.
Oh, there's no time. Do you have hot dogs?
On the grill and in the pack.
Chips?
All kinds.
Ice cream?
Loads of flavors.
Drinks?
Hundreds of choices.
Okay, and wine?
Yeah. Wait, wine?
Yeah, that's for me. Thanks so much.
Happy birthday!
We're your milk, eggs, hot dogs, chips, ice cream, soda, juice, wine, and more store. We're fresh and friendly. We're Corner Store.
Look for the silver door, Timmy.
All right, here we go.
Timmy!
What is this place? Welcome to the Spurs Retirement Club. This is nice.
Here we have all-you-can-eat H-E-B Prime 1 steaks.
Awesome. And here's your monogram steak, sir. Cooked to perfection.
Plus an unlimited supply of Creamy Creations ice cream. You get it?
Yeah, I get it.
H-E-B Prime 1, just like they serve in the finest restaurants.
Gotta crank this party up a notch.
It's a pleasant Wednesday evening here at Toyota Field in late August as we begin the home stretch of the 2017 USL season. San Antonio FC beginning a 2-game week as they welcome in Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2. Let's take a look at our starting 11s for both sides tonight, Lance, and we begin with San Antonio FC. We mentioned a different look for them tonight because 2 matches this week. They're going to need some of their other players to step in. So tonight, no Pekka, no Michael Reed in the midfield. You'll see Ryan Rashandel and Maxi Rodriguez playing that holding midfielder spot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good look for the start of the match tonight. I think the use of personnel throughout the course of the game and the course of this next couple of games is going to be important. We're going to get a good look at some young players tonight as well as some new additions.
Diego Restrepo back in net tonight. He'll make his 16th start of the season. Vancouver, as they put out a 4-3-2-1 starting lineup tonight, or actually a 4-1-3-2 starting formation for them tonight. Sean Melvin will get the start in net, 2-3-3 on the season for the native of Victoria. We mentioned Marco Bustos, and a really promising young back end, including their captain Francis DeVries, who was selected in the 2nd round of the MLS Super Draft this past year. Aaron Powell for San Antonio FC, 2nd season, is happy to be back home and is hoping the home field crowd and advantage will work to his favor tonight. San Antonio FC has not won at home since June 17th. Let's look at Rich Fagan, first-year head coach for Whitecaps FC 2. He was their former under-18 residency coach, led that under-18 program to the national championship game a year ago. Now in his first season, tough times for this group. They're just 4-12-7. They're winless in their last 12. They've been outscored 21-11, and they don't have a win, Lance, since beating Portland, the team that's coming here on Saturday, back on June the 4th in Portland. So I think it's always dangerous when you play one of these teams that, you know, has gone on a long winless drought.
Yeah, you figure at one point they're going to find their rhythm. The thing about these sides is there's so much of a rotation of the personnel throughout the course of the season. Lots of players playing alongside players that they didn't play against or alongside the week before. Those are the types of things I think you're going to see from these types of sides.
San Antonio FC in their home black kits trimmed white and red, and Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2 in their away white kits trimmed in blue. Along with Lance Key and our entire crew, Dan Weiss, live from Toyota Field. Happy to have you along. San Antonio FC and Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2 meeting for the second time this year and the third time overall. San Antonio FC got a 2-1 result back in mid-April at the Thunderbird Stadium in British Columbia. It was part of course, that great start to the season for San Antonio FC and an unbelievable Cascadia trip where they took all 9 points in 3 games, and that's, I don't care whether you're USL, Major League Soccer, that's an impressive feat to go up to the Pacific Northwest and take 9 points.
Very difficult to do, and what did it do for the start of the SAFC season? I mean, the promise that it established so early on was fantastic as a result of that great week.
So now San Antonio FC back here at home after a 0-0 draw Saturday night in Oklahoma City, and just their second defeat of the season 2 Saturdays ago in Reno. Probably their most frustrating game of the season, although that Reno team has gone on a tear as they're up now to 39 points, sitting 4th in the table as we showed you before. Ryan Rishandel with the ball. He's making just his second start of the season, and it's only his 3rd appearance, and that now ties Ryan for as many times as he's been up in the broadcast booth with me that he's been out on the pitch.
I'm sure a stat he loves to be called. You see Vancouver taking an early posture, drawing that restraining line back to the top of the circle, really waiting to see what SAFC are going to do, playing out of the back and into midfield, try to get the pressure high in those areas, win the ball back, just as they did there.
Thomas Gardner is one of 3 teenagers in the lineup tonight. Gardner has actually been a part of the residency program in Vancouver since he was 9, along with David Norman Jr., who is the son of David Norman Sr., one of the great Canadian national players, and he was a member of that Vancouver Whitecaps FC team when they were back in the North American Soccer League all the way back in the 60s and 70s. So lineage going on here for Vancouver and their history with David Norman Jr., also 19 years of age as well in their starting 11 tonight. It's an interesting mix as you see from these Major League Soccer teams where they put with their USL teams. There's 11 homegrown contracts on the roster, 5 draft picks, and again, very young team in Vancouver that's trying to gain a little confidence here by coming to San Antonio and trying to maybe pull an upset. They were pretty good on Saturday in Rio Grande Valley, played the Toros to a 1-1 draw, and that was Sean Melvin, who was in goal, who got the decision on the draw, his 3rd straight draw. So good job by the goalkeeper there as Ben Noonan is back in action tonight. He missed Saturday's game in Oklahoma City after serving a 1-game suspension for card accumulation. A different look tonight for San Antonio FC. Again, with 2 matches this week. First time they've had 2 matches in a week since April, and getting free here in the back and breaking in is Chris Serbin off the flank and lays to the top of the box, and nicely done there by Cyprian Hedrick. Devin Vega. Outside, Omar Gordon. First touch of the match for him. Gordon, who's playing in the spot usually occupied by Billy Forbes, but Billy's going to play the number 9 spot tonight up top for San Antonio FC.
Yeah, Billy's dangerous anywhere on the park. He's obviously putting up high in between those 2 central defenders, see what he can't create on his own, and then have that second support of that midfield group coming forward with Billy Gordon there on the left-hand side.
There you see Billy, 7 goals, go along with 5 assists. It's Noonan with the throw in here for San Antonio FC in the opening minutes here at Toyota Field. Tierpak slips it into the area, looking for Vega, and we'll get a corner, the first of the match here for San Antonio FC.
It's a clever little ball from Tierpak there. He does a good job of finding those little balls between the seams, entering into the 18-yard box.
Tyler Mitchum is our center referee tonight. Assistants working along with him are Francisco Bermudez and Stefania Estrada. William Hale is the fourth official for tonight's match. Let's look at the supporters sitting in section 118 there by the corner stick. The service in for San Antonio, and Sebastian Ibiaga climbing the ladder but sending it wide of goal.
Ibiaga's such a threat on those set pieces. Services into the box. Does a great job of getting up high, climbing up over the top. Just can't quite get over the top of it.
Sebastian Ibiaga has played in every minute of all 22 matches this season for San Antonio FC, and tonight, in the absence of Michael Reed, he's wearing the armband as the captain. Late flag goes up on Billy Forbes. He knew he was offside, even though the offside flag didn't go up and stopped his run. Let's take a look here at Chris Serbin now for Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2, and we mentioned they've got a young back end as Cole Seiler, and there's their captain Francis DeVries on the ball. Seiler and DeVries, who were taken a year apart in the MLS Super Draft. Seiler in the second round after graduating from UConn, and DeVries, second round pick this past season. Seiler will work it outside here, and Chris Serbin. As again, Vancouver trying to build up some possession. They were outpossessed badly Saturday night down in the Valley. Just 36% possession for Whitecaps FC 2 in that game. Back it'll come to Sean Melvin, the goalkeeper.
See both sides early on really compressing the midfield part of the of space and forcing teams to play into those wide areas and seeing what they can create there. Thus far, not the quality from either team to really create anything of significant danger, but a common and a consistent ploy there for both teams to really compress and tighten up that middle third of the field.
Darren Powell's teams have been built on their back end all season. They continue to lead the USL in the fewest goals conceded, 13, and clean sheets, 12. 9 of those belong to Diego Restrepo, who is just 4 clean sheets away from matching Brandon Miller for the all-time USL record. He achieved back in 2015 playing in Rochester as Greg Cochran will earn a possession foul here for San Antonio FC.
See Cochran just trying to get through. Does a good job at drawing that foul as he started to run out of space and pace there at the end.
Maxi Rodriguez and Ryan Rochandle. For Rodriguez, this is his 12th appearance, just his 4th start of the season. As he plays outside, and a good ball for Cochran. Cochran sends it wide of Sean Melvin's goal.
Not a final production you're used to seeing from Ryan Cochran. Normally does a really good job of getting around the ball and whipping that across the face at goal from that position. But a good run and a good bit of play there. Shows some promise.
Omar Gordon, 25 years of age, 5 caps for the Jamaican national team. Part again of that Gold Cup squad that went all the way to the final before losing to Team USA. 148 career professional appearances for Gordon, including last year spending some time in the North American Soccer League with the Indy 11, and now in his second match here for San Antonio FC. And a collision there between Gordon and Serbin, and it's Serbin who wins the duel, and then it's Maxi Rodriguez committing the foul. Vancouver quickly plays the ball upfield, but turns over. Restrepo and Cyprian Hedrick back in his more familiar and comfortable center back spot tonight. We've seen him a couple of times play on that fullback spot, and times he's, I don't want to say been maybe caught out of position, but the tendencies of a center back you could certainly speak to a little bit different than trying to adapt that to the tendencies of a fullback.
Yeah, I think especially the way that SAFC have tried to play with those 2 outside backs, really trying to get forward and be dangerous into the attacking third. That center back position allows him to sit home a little bit more. You can already tell in this first 9 minutes of the match, he just looks very comfortable.
Vega along the outside as he works back here with Ben Noonan. And now turning here, Billy Forbes trying to create a little space and concedes possession. And Rochandle steps up to win the ball away. And Billy will play it outside. Cochran, a little bit of daylight, good ball. Gordon, Sean Melvin makes his first save of the match.
Not a bad recovery there from Billy to get the ball out wide. Cochran threaded a nice little ball in here for Omar, and I think a nice take early. Try to catch the goalkeeper, cheating a little bit to the near post. Keeper did well with it, but certainly like to see that in the first 10 minutes.
You know, San Antonio FC trying to add some life to their offense, which has certainly struggled. Of course, if you go back to when they last played Vancouver, they were on an unbelievable tear. And part of a stretch in 7 games in March and April where they outscored the opposition 18-4, but now, even though still outscoring the opposition, just 12 goals in their last 15 matches overall. As Vancouver enters the box, sends one wide of Diego Restrepo.
Yeah, as you applaud their defensive effort and being the top team in the league in terms of managing their goal concession, at the same point on the other side of the equation, you've got to put them in the back of the net, which is why you see so many draws this season. Really have had a hard time scoring, especially of late.
9 draws, which is the most in USL play. Fan stamped it in on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 8 p.m. Central. Sirius XM FC, Channel 85. Don't forget, Sirius XM FC will air the USL game of the week. Go to USLsoccer.com for dates and times. And a foul as Omar Gordon went down, and it'll be awarded a free kick here for San Antonio FC in the 11th minute.
There you see Gordon slipping to the inside and being creative, playing that ball back across the face. A good run in behind from Devin Vega.
And the foul, which was behind Vega, back in the central midfield. And that'll put San Antonio FC over the ball here from about 35 yards out or so. And Omar Gordon, the right-footed striker, will take it, but sends it over goal. So Omar Gordon engaged early, looking very comfortable on that left flank spot here. He's had San Antonio FC's lone shot on goal here, and again, Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2, and a team that has not won since early June. Like San Antonio FC, they too have struggled to score. And a good ball played to the outside fullback, sent into the box and cleared away from danger by Cyprian Hedrick. Tierpak back on the ball. And looking in Billy Forbes' direction, Melvin out to parry it. Gordon with Melvin well off his line. He didn't get the best touch on that one to try to catch the keeper, who had come all the way out to the top of the 18.
Well, we applaud the ambition. A pretty good ball in here from Tierpak to really force the goalkeeper to come off his line. Caught in a run on the edge of the 18-yard box, really with only one decision to make.
A lot of attacking early for San Antonio FC, much like their last match at home against Orange County, when, of course, they scored their fastest goal in team history in the 2nd minute, only to concede a penalty in stoppage time, in a game that had finished in yet another draw, 1-1 here at Toyota Field in the last match here at home a few Saturdays ago. Now 2 matches this week. And then we'll move into September with the 4-game road trip, the toughest of the season as far as number of games. Cochran by the byline. Good fall into the area and defended away by DeVries. Trying to come back on it is Gardner. San Antonio FC, Tierpak, and it's 1-0. Well done as Tierpak delivers from just inside the 18-yard line.
Well, there you see the persistence of Ryan Cochran really getting up into that role that he loves to be in, getting down that left-hand side in the final third and getting those types of services in that are so dangerous. That first one whipped in and cleared back out, but the second service in, and a great take from Tierpak. What a really good finish that was from him. It's not easy to get up and put the ball in the back of the net from that distance off the head.
A beautiful ball and an excellent finish by Chris Tierpak for his 6th goal of the season, and for Greg Cochran, his 3rd assist. Tierpak now 1 goal off his total of 7 from a year ago, and Tierpak continues to be a thorn in the side of Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2. Vancouver last season had a very good year, going 12-9-9, advanced all the way to the Western Conference Finals before Chris Tierpak and his Swope Park Rangers club upended them in a big way, 3-0. And here's Omar Gordon making the run upfield. Gordon delivers outside for Tierpak again. Slips it to Ben Noonan, making the run to the top of the area with Vega into the box, and Melvin again off his line, this time out to grab.
And you've got to really like what SAFC is doing right now. Getting Gordon with the ability to cut in on his right foot, allowing Cochran to release on that left-hand side. That right now is really causing Vancouver Whitecaps some issues defensively and trying to track and make sense of that. Billy's doing a good job of holding the two central defenders, and that's the kind of success that I think SAFC are going to have if Vancouver continue to defend the way they are.
San Antonio FC has really opened up here as Marco Bustos finally makes a touch on the ball here, but concedes possession immediately. Vega over the top, Gordon making the run. No slip to the ball here, and by the touchline now, going around Cole Seiler, who came over to defend from his center back position. Cochran, as he gets through the defense, and again working along with Omar Gordon on that left flank. It'll be a throw in here for San Antonio FC.
It's beginning to be a party out here on the left-hand side for Ryan Cochran. He's just loving it.
Thomas Gardner makes the play. And back upfield here now is Bustos trying to keep possession alive. He did. And we'll get a foul here as Bustos was taken down from behind.
Yeah, not a quality decision there to try to head back, and then just a little professional foul to prevent anything from getting dangerous. Here you see, unaware of what was behind them.
Marco Bustos, one of 11 homegrown players, part of Vancouver Whitecaps FC2 overall roster. He's 21 years of age, third-year pro. He's on loan from the first team. 7 goals in 16 matches a year ago, and 6 goals in 12 matches this season in USL play. So right where he wants to be is this one is offside. As trying to break free on the attack upfield was Thomas Sanner. His second season in Vancouver. It's interesting, Lance, to see the struggles for Whitecaps too, because they have 12 players who returned from last year's team that went all the way to the championship in the Western Conference, and to see so much continuity and so many players back, to see their struggles, I'm sure, is a little bit perplexing for their organization.
Yeah, you know, it's difficult to diagnose that. I mean, obviously you've got some continuity and some fluidity from one year to the next, but you know, players change, dynamics change, the clubhouse changes.
San Antonio FC will have the throw-in. The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com, following them on Twitter at USL. Chris Tierpak in the 14th minute. He's given San Antonio FC the early 1-0 edge here tonight at home. Tierpak had the last goal for San Antonio FC in the 2nd minute against Orange County back on August the 5th. He's got the last 2 goals for San Antonio FC now. Into the outside, Ben Noonan. And this one's well defended on the far flank by Declan Wynn, but it'll be another corner for San Antonio FC. Second of the match. Here's Declan Wynn, who scored in the 1-1 draw for Whitecaps FC2 Saturday night down in the Valley as they conclude their 2-game Texas trip here tonight before heading back to the Pacific Northwest. And Evan Vega, the right-footed in-swinger, will take it from the corner stick. A deep ball that is easily cleared out of the box. Vega once again with the service in, and DeVries heading it out. San Antonio FC back to get it at the midfield line. Billy Forbes, edge of the area. Tierpak. Maxi Rodriguez, and once again Devin Vega. The 18-year-old with some good footwork into the area. And that one was well defended on the outside, but not cleared. Billy Forbes with a strike, and Sean Melvin makes a good save.
See, Declan Wynn's really got his work cut out for him tonight. They're looking for him to get up that left-hand side, and they're playing those diagonals in, and then he's having to get all the way back on the other end and deal with a Devin Vega and a Billy Forbes. There you see the two of them combining in that short-sided space for a look at goal.
David Norman was trying to come back and help out as well on Vega, teenager on teenager in that duel. Marco Bustos to the outside, Serbin. Serbin, low ball into the box, easy clearance for Ibiaga, but a throw-in for Vancouver, which has had just 36% of the possession so far. Bustos, top of the 6 and headed wide. Sander got up top, but couldn't put it on goal.
Yeah, I was looking at that just a minute ago, the possession, as you talked about from their last match, where they really weren't able to retain possession throughout the game, and really starting off this first 20 minutes of tonight in the same situation where they just can't seem to get hold of it. You're not hearing Bustos' name called very much there in the middle of the park. Just really not able to get hold of the ball and sustain it and keep possession and build anything except for the occasional diagonal ball that has looked dangerous to this point, but that in and of itself isn't going to be sufficient.
Here you see now the updated possession, and through 20 minutes it's really been all San Antonio FC, and another nice piece of footwork from Devin Vega on display. Not the best of balls though for Greg Cochran. San Antonio FC though will end up with the throw-in. Busy night around the USL, 5 matches in total, one that San Antonio FC will keep an eye on. Coming up later on tonight will be in Sacramento, where Republic is hosting Swope Park Rangers. Republic right now sitting in 5th in the table. Swope 1 point back, San Antonio FC in 3rd. Sander upfield. Alongside David Norman making the run into the box, but Sander couldn't get him the ball. It's again well defended by that back 4 for San Antonio FC. Noonan, and just a little bit beyond Tierpak coming up that right flank.
Yeah, that was well defended from SAFC. Did a good job of getting numbers back underneath the ball and around the ball to cut off that time and space. And then that ball from Noonan, he'd really like to have that one back because he had a great look at Tierpak down the line.
Soccer fans, Nike's an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit nikesoccer.com. Chris Serbin, and slowing up on the run was Gloria Amanda. Just outside the area, Amanda, they're a teenager, 18 years of age, 2 goals on the season. Another one of their homegrown players. Interesting story for him. He was actually born in a Tanzanian refugee camp and moved to Edmonton with his family at the age of 8. So dual citizen now, Canadian citizenship. There are 13 Canadian citizens on this Vancouver roster, one of 3 Canadian entries in the USL, along with Toronto and Ottawa. Vega, sorry.
Nice to see Devin Vega be so active there. That last ball he tried to hit Cochran with a couple minutes ago wasn't of great quality, but you like to see him picking up the ball in the middle of the 3rd of the field and running at that back line and being very creative off of it. He's been dangerous thus far.
Here's Gloria Amanda just outside the area. Noonan defending. Ball to the top of the area and sent over goal by the left-footed Marco Bustos. But he finally got an opportunity for at least a look towards the goal. And Bustos, looking for his 7th of the year, sent it over the top of the bar.
Looking for the 7th goal of the year. Right now he's just looking for the ball. He has not been able to find it there in that interior part of the field.
Native of Winnipeg, Manitoba. 4 games with the first team for Marco Bustos. Made his debut for Whitecaps on October 13th of 2015. San Antonio FC with a throw in here in the 24th minute at Toyota Field. Chris Tierpak has the home side ahead 1-0 early with his 6th of the season in the 14th minute. 1 goal behind Billy Forbes for the team lead. For Tierpak now 15 overall points on the season.
And he has scored some fantastic goals this year.
Even go back to maybe one of his best ones in the second home game of the season against Colorado Springs, that goal off the volley outside the box in the 72nd minute that earned San Antonio FC a draw.
Absolutely, that was a cracker across the face of goal into that top corner. And this one tonight was fantastic as well. Here you see Ibiaga and Hedrick. They feel like they're on holidays thus far. They really haven't been pressured or tested at all. Had all the time they want on the ball to be able to play forward. If you're SAFC, that's what you want to see.
Well, it's usually where SAFC, once they gain that first goal, that they like to, of course, play at their pace and slow the game down, but it's often where it's gotten them into trouble because it's allowed the opponent to build pressure and eventually find a way to get that equalizer. For all San Antonio FC has done well throughout the season, getting that second goal to build some space between them and the opposition has just been the one thing that's really eluded them here as of late.
Yeah, we don't want to maybe go so far as to call it complacency at that point in the game, but maybe perhaps a little bit too comfortable with that 1-0 lead. Obviously, you've got to continue to play the game and take the chances as they come, and I think that's really where the issue has been, when they haven't taken some of those chances in that middle part of the game and that latter part of the game and left themselves susceptible to that odd chance that the other team, a late penalty, for instance, like last week, things like that.
Hedrick and Ibiaga. As you said, just trying to get the feel of the ball here a little bit. Upfield, Newnham for Tierpak. Nice slip into the box. And the flag, a late one on Billy Forbes. We'll draw the whistle. Well, some new faces for San Antonio FC has been added to the squad over the last couple of weeks since our last home match. Omar Gordon, as we've talked a lot about, making his second appearance for San Antonio FC. They've also added Connor Presley, along with Mike Seth, who features in the 18 tonight for the first time this year for San Antonio FC, former Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC striker, and Ever Guzman, who has yet to feature for San Antonio FC, has been dealing with a little bit of an injury. So some new faces. You always like to get some new blood late in the season to try to not only, of course, help with your playoff push, but to, hopefully add for a little bit of a late playoff run as well.
Absolutely. We talked at the top of the show about Gordon being that on the field, but certainly bringing in some new personalities, not just to the starting 11, but to the clubhouse in general, brings a little bit of a different dynamic, changes things up a little bit. Brings a little bit of that excitement that you want this time of the season.
Serban will take the throw in here for Vancouver, 21-year-old from Calgary. His third professional season. Working along with Thomas Gardner and now Marco Bustos. Nice ball into the box for Amanda, but he's offside. Vancouver, it's been a struggle through 27 minutes to generate, to try to build. They kind of slowed the pace down a little bit at the start of the game, and once San Antonio FC got their footing and really was able to utilize the creativity of Gordon, it really has taken off for them from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the flip side for Vancouver, they really haven't been able to be mobile enough along the San Antonio back line to create any kind of danger. So what they're having to resort to is these spaces in these wide areas, but they don't have the movement to get on the end of those balls in that area. Consequently, they aren't connecting much.
Some good combination balls, but the last one just a little bit behind Billy Forbes. It will stay with San Antonio FC here. Some great touches from Cochran and Omar Gordon. And now it's Vancouver on the ball. Will Seymour playing upfield. Sanner. As Ibiaga quickly back.
And you see Bustos there asking for the ball at his feet. They just don't have the numbers in and around that first entry service into Sanner's head to be able to retain anything off of that. So it's just a giveaway in the end.
Bustos. DeVries and Seiler now out of the back. Seymour will play it wide, and here's Declan Wynn upfield, but again the flag up on Gloria Amanda across from him. As Declan Wynn settling under that one.
That's the third or fourth time they've hit that diagonal ball to Win there on the opposite touchline. I think Newnham's really done a pretty good job for young players here tonight watching the game or watching it online. He's done a good job of being able to tuck in and stay connected to Hedrick from that weak side, and then using the time of flight that the ball's traveled diagonally to get out there and pressure. Really hasn't caused them any issues.
Cochran. Good job getting back underneath the ball there by Seiler. Or rather, Serbin. Now it's Will Seymour upfield with some daylight. And Vancouver can go to the left side if they want with Wynn making the run, but Bustos quickly can't get him the ball, and now finally will work it off to Wynn on that left side.
Yeah, again, there you see Newnham came in and closed that ball off to Wynn, didn't allow it to get out that other side.
Tricky
Really
little
good defending.
Tricky little combination there. Wynn just overran the ball a little bit, and Vancouver will play it back to Sean Melvin. Chris Serbin now. One more possession here for Vancouver as they try to establish here, down 1-0. And again, not the best ball for Marco Bustos. Wynn will get back under it. David Norman concedes possession to Chris Tierpak. Tierpak just through Billy Forbes, who had his man beat coming back. Just couldn't get under that ball.
Yeah, it really was a great idea, good little run. Billy would probably would, if he had that one again, he would like to have gotten a little bit of a touch on that ball just to settle it in front of him. But a good idea between Tierpak and Billy Forbes.
Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune in to USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 8 Central on SiriusXM FC Channel 85. Don't forget, SiriusXM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Go to USLsoccer.com for dates and times. In the 31st minute, along with Lance Key and our entire crew, Dan Weiss from Toyota Field. A busy week for San Antonio FC. Home tonight to Vancouver. Home Saturday night, and what could be a crazy game with Portland, and not because of what happens on the field, but what may be happening off of it. More on that in a second. Cochran looking in Omar Gordon's direction, and off Serbin. It'll be a throw-in for San Antonio FC. If you've not been paying attention to the weather, there is a potential hurricane forming in the Gulf of Mexico. Harvey, who we thought was over last week, is now potentially re-emerging. And a forecast landfall potentially for South Texas, which could spill into San Antonio on Saturday night with what they're calling for up to 8 inches of rain.
Yeah, I think your words before the game here tonight were driving wind and rain, which is never a great forecast for a soccer match.
Devin Vega will take the free kick for San Antonio FC. Nibiaga was tugged a little bit as he tried to get under that one, but they play on. As Diego Restrepo has yet to see a shot on goal to this point through 32 minutes. Come well off his line here. Now San Antonio FC pressing back into the attacking third. Maxi Rodriguez, the back for Cochran, and Cyprian Hedrick now. Vega and Forbes on the combination. Billy's upended, but they play on. We'll counter here for Vancouver if they can get upfield, but a little slow out of the back. And now Wynn will come up on that left flank. For Thomas Sanner. And back to David Norman. Nice ball, but well anticipated by Cyprian Hedrick.
There you see Hedrick again looking very comfortable at that center back role tonight. Doing a good job of timing his challenges, stepping in front, intercepting passes, and then being able to retain possession and playing out of it.
Big difference for him, for sure. Playing in the center back spot. Stephen McCarthy not starting tonight for Hedrick. Just his 8th start of the season. McCarthy is on the bench to start tonight. And again, we mentioned at the top, no Michael Reed and no Pekka, who you'd expect to see Saturday against Portland. Bustos. DeVries. Wynn. He'll get to this one. Into the area. Declan Wynn. Great tackle there by Cyprian Hedrick as Wynn could not finish. Now San Antonio on the counter. Tierpak. Plenty of daylight. Top of the box. Tierpak right into the catching arms of Sean Melvin.
So you see Nguyen doing a good job of getting around the outside. Newnham just not able to keep him out there, but a well-timed challenge again from Hedrick. Came across, cut it out, and then again, building out, keeping possession, playing out of that back third.
And Declan Nguyen is still down on the pitch inside the San Antonio FC area. Declan Nguyen is one of 3 New Zealanders on the roster for Vancouver Whitecaps FC too, and he's going to go up and play with the national team along with his teammate Meyer Bevan and Whitecaps FC goalkeeper Christian Marinovic for the upcoming FIFA 2018 World Cup qualifiers. Well, here's Chris Tierpak, who has done some amazing things this season. That was the Krecker goal that we talked about earlier this year, and then on his back against Tulsa. The last time San Antonio FC was home against Orange County, and tonight, another beauty to give San Antonio FC the 1-0 lead. 6 goals on the year for the 25-year-old Chris Tierpak from Austin, Texas.
Chris Tierpak working on his own top 10. Some great finishes.
We just made a great demo reel for him right there. Kudos to the guys back in the truck.
Absolutely.
Tierpak will have an excellent shot of finding a job next season with that reel.
Most definitely. And good to see Nguyen up again. As I said earlier in the game, he's covering so much ground. I'd love to know what his ground coverage is thus far throughout the game. I think part of what we saw there was the challenge, and part of that's just the fatigue. But good to see him back up and moving.
Nguyen has 11 caps for New Zealand, as we mentioned. Him along with Meyer Bevan and Christian Marinovic are going to join New Zealand for the upcoming FIFA 2018 World Cup qualifiers. De Vries is the other native New Zealander on this roster for Vancouver. Nguyen will be able to continue here in the 37th minute. San Antonio FC up 1-0 thanks to Tierpak's goal in the 14th minute on the service in by Greg Cochran. Talked about some fatigue from trying to cover ground for Declan Nguyen tonight. This has actually been one of the more temperature-wise pleasant evenings at Toyota Field because we had some rain in the area prior to the match. Temperature at kickoff was just 87 degrees, which felt like a massive cold front, I'm sure, for everybody. Gloria Amanda, nice ball into the area, well defended by Hedrick, and then fanning on the rebound attempt was David Norman. Cole Seiler settles under this one. Great touch there by Devin Vega. As he opens himself up, Vega was looking in Billy Forbes' direction. Seiler, and here's Chris Serbin. Vancouver trying to build something out of the back here with Gloria Amanda and Marco Bustos now. Norman will turn it back to the outside for De Vries. A little more daylight over there along with Declan Nguyen on that left fullback spot. Nguyen. Back to Francis De Vries.
You see Vancouver beginning to settle into the game a little bit more, starting to collect the ball. Connecting passes, exercising a lot more patience, but still with not a whole lot to show in behind.
Amanda turns, returns it now to Bustos. They have slowly made their way up into the attacking third here. Norman couldn't get it past Cochran. Stays with Gloria Amanda. Bustos stayed on side, but the ball never came to him. Omar Gordon for San Antonio as they will push forward now with Cochran.
Just nicely played to get out the other side. Pretty good run from Newnham. Just not the ball to match it.
The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com and following them on Twitter at USL. And you talk about rising stars. You talk about the teenagers on the field tonight. 3 of them for Vancouver, and San Antonio's own Devin Vega, just 18 years of age. And there's a lot of very young talent that hopes to have very productive careers at the highest levels of professional soccer someday.
Just a tribute to the continued successful evolution of the game in this country, to see these young players coming up through these programs.
Saw a little bit more possession for Vancouver, sitting now just at 41%, and they were down in the mid-30s to start the match. Cochran. Gordon. And he struck this one with a little bit too much force as he sent it into section 118 for the San Antonio FC supporters to take a souvenir home.
Yeah, he did a good job there of finding that little pocket just inside the 18-yard box, but he lost track of where that defensive pressure was and forced that. He probably had some space to pick it up and carry and run a little bit into the box.
Maxi Rodriguez gets up under this one here, pushing forward. It's David Norman who'll bring it down, and then Rodriguez charges over him. A nice show of sportsmanship there from Devin Vega as he pulls up the 19-year-old Norman off the pitch. Soccer fans, Nike's an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit nikesoccer.com. As we approach halftime, San Antonio FC with a 1-0 lead. Quiet first half for Diego Restrepo. Familiar position for San Antonio FC. 15th time in 19 games in which San Antonio has scored the first goal. They are 11-0-3 when scoring first. However, the last 3 games, or 3 out of the last 4 in which they've scored first, they've seen the opponent come back to equalize and walk out of here with just 1 point instead of taking all 3 home.
That's what we talked a little bit earlier on, just getting to that point, getting that first goal and really setting a nice pace for the game, but then allowing that opposition to play themselves back into the rhythm of the game. And I think obviously as an SAFC fan, you know, those people sitting out here tonight are hoping that they can see SAFC continue to be a little bit more relentless as they navigate their way through the end of this first half and see if they can't go for the second.
As Vega looks for that second goal with Billy Forbes and Tierpak now. Slips it to Newnham, edge of the box. Norman on the defense. Newnham, nice move with the ball. Slips it into the 6. DeVries knocks it out. And a poor ball back, however, from Gardner. DeVries intercepts the centering pass from Billy Forbes. De Bustos upfield, and Vancouver now on the counter. Norman. Cole Seiler. Combination with Gloria Amanda, and it's back to Seiler. And to the outside for Declan Wynn. Had their goal Saturday against Rio Grande Valley. A team that does not generate a lot of goals. Tied for 23rd in the league. Forbes on side of the attack. Billy! What a save by Sean Melvin as Billy Forbes broke free.
Yeah, Tierpak did a great job of picking up the ball. You almost thought 30 seconds before that Vancouver were going to be down the other end knocking on the door, and Tierpak did a nice job intercepting the ball, picking it out and playing early ball into Billy, who found a seam. And as you said, what a great save this was here. What a good look from Billy. Exactly what he wants. His goalkeeper stays nice and big and makes a good save to preserve the 1-goal deficit.
That's what you need out of your goalkeeper if you're Rich Fagan and Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2. You'll just stay in the game against San Antonio. Cochran here late in the half. Trying to build on what has been an excellent first 43 minutes. Omar Gordon Nice move back into the area, but he sends it wide of goal.
There's Gordon cutting inside again on the right hand. Obviously something he wants to do. He wants to be able to pick up the ball, put it on his right foot, and cut inside to goal. Had some players waiting on the end of it, just didn't see him. Probably if he had that back, would like to have slotted that ball across the face, because he had some pretty good movement from his teammates there on the weak side.
Really creative attacking player, Omar Gordon. 40 goals over his 7-year professional career. 3 of them last season playing with Indy 11 in the NASL. And boy, we talk about an injection of energy in life. We've gotten a lot of that from Omar Gordon playing in the spot usually reserved for Billy Forbes that we've seen many times this year.
Yeah, but what a great asset to be able to plug him in there and let Billy then run along up top, just to give him a different look.
We'll have 2 minutes of stoppage time here at the end of the first half after the injury to Declan Wynn.
And for the most part, Vancouver, although they haven't looked fantastic thus far through the first half, they've done a good job of staying in the game. They've worked their way back in, done a pretty good job of keeping possession and starting to build. They still have to see some more activity across their front line, I think, in order to create some dangerous situations. But they put themselves in a pretty good position late in this half.
And for San Antonio FC, it's going to be a familiar situation if they go back into the half again, up 1. They've been in this position so many times at home as of late, only to see disappointment catch up with them in the second half. And you wonder, boy, then sometimes it starts to become a little bit mental, doesn't it, as a player?
Yeah, I think so. And the other side of it is, when you go down a goal on the road, there's not a whole lot immediately that you're going to do to change your operation. You're going to continue to play the way that you intended to play and see if you can't find your way back into the game. It's a different story if you go down 2 goals. You go down 2, you're going to have to really change your approach to the game. But right now, they've been able to stay with what they wanted to do. They haven't conceded the second goal, and at this point, they're just looking for a little break.
Amanda, as he finds Marco Bustos making the run upfield. Late here in stoppage time. Serbin. Bustos with a combination now. As Will Seymour gets it back to Chris Serbin. Serbin delivers to the area. Cleared out of there by Ibiaga. And that should just about do it here for the first half. One last strike for David Norman. On goal, Restrepo dropped it, but was able to play it out as the first half whistle blows. So almost a hiccup for San Antonio FC late in stoppage time in the first half, but Restrepo able to preserve the 1-0 lead for San Antonio FC going to break. As you see David Norman with the strike there, and Restrepo had to maneuver it away from Thomas Sanner, who was looking for a juicy rebound. Chris Tierpak with a goal for San Antonio FC in the 14th minute has them up 1 here at halftime. When we return, a look at AJ Ajekwa returning to his native Cameroon. Find a little bit more about himself and his family background. That's coming up at our halftime at Toyota Field. San Antonio FC on top of Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2 1-0.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing.
I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels.
After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak.
Meals on Wheels, coming to my door as someone who's housebound, having someone check on me, assures me that I'm not forgotten.
Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise.
We're the clients.
We are the clients.
We are the clients of Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent. We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness. I am a witness. I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
SAFC forward AJ Ajekwa, who was born in the U.S., went to boarding school in Cameroon for a year at the age of 13. The life lessons he learned there helped him overcome once being cut from his high school team to turning soccer into a career.
When I came back to the States is when a couple of my friends told me, oh, try out for the high school team. Went out to the high school tryout and probably lasted about 30 seconds. And the head coach goes, all right, he lines the whole team up and he goes, AJ to the middle. He kicks the ball up and I probably missed it like 3 or 4 times. And then he goes, get out. I didn't make the high school soccer team until my junior year. Being the competitive person I was, just playing basketball and stuff, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make this team. So I just kept pushing and working. I mean, like my work ethic is just everything to me. My mom always said like, hard work, hard work, hard work. You know, if you wanna make it in life, if you wanna make it in the society, you have to work.
And with that hard work, AJ went on to play collegiately at Chico State, where he realized he wanted to further his soccer career.
So I told my mom, I was like, yo, Mom, I'm gonna finish school, but I wanna go to Europe. She goes, if you buy your ticket, you can go. And next thing you know, I bought a one-way ticket to England, and I was gone. When I was in England, I mean, I tried so many teams. I contacted probably like 4 or 5 teams in like different leagues, trying to get an opportunity. And then Biggleswade United gave me an opportunity to play for their U23 team, which I'm really grateful for. They gave me a call to their first team, and on my debut game, it was an FA Cup match, and I scored 2 goals, and it was just like, my head just went from there. And I was like, yes, this is the relief I need.
After a successful season with Biggleswade United, Ajekwa returned home to the States, where he went on trial with LA2 and soon after signed with Orange County. Now, AJ finds himself here in San Antonio.
Going through what I went through just helped me become the person I am today. I'm still growing today, so I still make mistakes, but I'm not the type of person to make the same mistake twice. I'm a better person, I feel like, just being open-minded to a lot of things and being optimistic. Like life as it comes, you grow through what you go through.
When it needs to be ultra exciting, high-flying, non-stop action, San Antonio FC Soccer's got you covered. When it needs to be high-performing, hard-working, high-tech, super safe, built for comfort, and surprisingly affordable, Holt Cat has got you covered. With best-in-class cat-heavy equipment, engines, generators, and more, plus legendary service and support, and the largest parts inventory and distribution network in Texas. Kick it into high gear with Holt Cat.
They start so small, but bring big life changes. They are now your entire world. And that's why buying a home, protecting your assets, and setting up your family's future requires the right planning and expertise. Your cargo is precious, and your journey is just beginning. It's your story, and we can help. SWBC.
I'm not the type to say any of this mushy garbage.
You know what? I'm going for it.
You are completely and utterly
Awesome. I'm glad you showed up.
in my life.
I think I'm about to cry. You better not.
Every single time I
Get down!
you always have
My back.
It's really hard to describe. It's like all these tiny little things
Yes, things.
are actually friendship.
Halftime here in San Antonio. San Antonio FC with a 1-0 lead over Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2. More now with AJ Ajekwa as he makes his return home to Cameroon. A little more of insight from him.
I was born in West Los Angeles, but I was raised in Gardena, California, which is a small city in Los Angeles. Both my parents were born and raised in Cameroon and came to the United States for schooling and obviously for a better life. My parents and my family members basically thought it'd be the best thing for me to go to Cameroon and go to school. So at the age of 13, I went to boarding school, and it was like life-changing type of thing. Everything was just different compared to being in the States. So when I got there, I mean, the whole time I thought I was there to play basketball. I just wanted to be like Iverson. So I got there and I was just like, dang, my life's about to change. I'm gonna have to think differently, eat differently, and just behave differently. I mean, we had study hall at like 9 p.m., like mandatory study hall. So it's like, you'll go through school, you'll have mandatory physical activity. So I was with the basketball team. And then after basketball, you'll have dinner. After dinner, you have probably 1 or 2 hours alone. Or with your friends, you hang out with your friends, and then you have study hall at 9 p.m. And it's like, you can't really fall asleep. They just give you a little flick in the ear, like, wake up. So it's like, you know, it's just, everything was planned and put together, and you just have to follow a system. There's a time where it's kind of like, you wouldn't call it punishment. It was kind of like, they'll give us a cutlass, and it'll be like, probably 4 feet of grass, and you're just cutting. You're cutting for a good amount of time. And it's just like, you don't want to be out there, you're getting blisters. I mean, I'm 13, straight from the States. And I'm just like, what am I doing out here cutting grass? Like, this is not what I want to do. But at the end of the day, it taught me discipline and patience. It just made me appreciate everything that we have here in the States. Because like, life is completely different. It's a third world country. So, I mean, you appreciate things from hot water to having electricity at night and stuff like that, or having a heater. It just made me appreciate that, like, the fact that you may have more than somebody who has less. And just, you know, at the end of the day, you gotta be happy with what you have.
Look for the silver door, Timmy. All right, here we go.
Timmy!
What is this place? Welcome to the Spurs Retirement Club. This is nice.
Here we have all-you-can-eat H-E-B Prime 1 steaks.
Awesome. And here's your monogram steak, sir. Cooked to perfection.
Plus an unlimited supply of Creamy Creations ice cream. You get it?
Yeah, I get it.
H-E-B Prime 1, just like they serve in the finest restaurants.
Gotta crank this party up a notch.
When it needs to be ultra exciting, high-flying, non-stop action, San Antonio FC Soccer's got you covered. When it needs to be high-performing, hard-working, high-tech, super safe, built for comfort, and surprisingly affordable, Holt Cat has got you covered. With best-in-class cat-heavy equipment, engines, generators, and more, plus legendary service and support, and the largest parts inventory and distribution network in Texas. Kick it into high gear with Holt Cat.
Little ideas can turn into big dreams. Big dreams require careful planning and the right partner. A partner dedicated to helping you take care of your employees, protect your business, and plan for the future. It's sometimes overwhelming. It's often exciting. It's your story, and we can help. SWBC.
Our halftime continues here at Toyota Field. San Antonio FC with a 1-0 lead over Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2. Thanks so much for joining us. Along with Lance Key, I'm Dan Weiss, our entire crew. It's great to have you with us here on this Wednesday evening. It's a 2-game week for San Antonio FC. And Lance, they've started game 1 of this busy week again on a strong note. Opening goal by Chris Tierpak in the 14th minute really controlled the first half. They've done a lot of great things, but they've allowed Vancouver to stay in the game here, at least going into the second half for now.
Yeah, a little bit of what we've been used to seeing from SAFC throughout the course of the season, where They have a little bit of the control of the game, and they look to be the more dangerous side, and then maybe even get out and get out in front with a goal, but just aren't able to sustain that same level of pressure, start to allow the other team to work their way back into the game, and we started to see that as the first half went on with Vancouver.
Well, and for Chris Tierpak scoring his 6th goal this season, we saw the package of goals from this season, which a lot has been here at home. This was just another one added to the repertoire.
Yeah, he's proven to be a very good goal scorer. Again, getting up over the top of the defender, getting over the ball, and really generating a lot of power to put it past the keeper there at the near post. What a great goal.
Cochran picking up his 3rd assist of the season, and Tierpak again with his 6th goal, and the majority of those have been here at Toyota Field, which has been a real treat for the fans to watch. Tierpak continues to make mincemeat out of Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2. He had that brace against them in the Western Conference Finals a year ago, scored in the regular season last year against them, scored again in the regular season here tonight. They've seen enough of Chris Tierpak. That being said, as we take a look, Lance, at our first half statistics, you know, San Antonio FC had that big lead in possession, but Vancouver started to settle into the game, and it kind of tightened up later on in the first half.
Yeah, as we talked about, we saw San Antonio really get out front, had a lot of the possession early on in the game, had a lot of the chances, a lot of the danger, but then let off a little bit, and you see Vancouver starting to work their way back in, building some confidence, which is something that we have to be concerned about a little bit if you're an SAFC. You've got to be concerned about the confidence built there in the latter part of that half and how that transitions into the second half.
You see 10 shots for San Antonio FC, 5 of which made it on target. They made the keeper, Sean Melvin, work. Diego Restrepo only had to make 1 save, but it kind of was an interesting one right at the end of stoppage time in the first half. It was on a strike from David Norman. Restrepo made the save, but Thomas Sander nearly caught him napping for the rebound. So our halftime continues here from San Antonio. San Antonio FC with a 1-0 lead over Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2. We'll take a break. We'll come back with second half when we return after this.
Welcome to Corner Store. How can we help?
Well, I'm thirsty.
We have juice, teas, and over 100 ways to create your drink with our Coca-Cola Freestyle.
Wow, that's a lot of drinks.
Need a boost? We've got fresh coffee and great deals on energy drinks.
That's cool and hot.
Ready to relax? Check out our craft beer and wine selection.
Classy.
How else can we help?
That's it. I'll just take these. Thanks.
Don't forget the milk.
We're your juice, tea, soda, coffee, energy drink, beer, wine, milk, and more store. We're fresh and friendly. We're Corner Store.
So I'm cruising here in my new Camry. You know, just following the nav's predictive traffic. That's when I saw smoke coming from the pet store. I called 911 on the Bluetooth and began the rescue. The owner gave me this as a reward. His name is Senor Bandito.
Wait, you got a new Camry?
The 2017 Camry with sporty looks and the latest tech. It'll surprise a few people. Toyota, let's go places.
Chris Tierpak has San Antonio FC ahead 1-0, scoring in the 14th minute as we return for the start of the second half. And what should be, again, another interesting second half for San Antonio FC. Can they get that second goal and a crooked number on the board? Or will Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2 maybe spoil the party here at home and come up with the equalizer? As our second half kickoff is underway, Lance Key and our entire crew, Dan Weiss, happy to have you along here at Toyota Field. Lance, we know what San Antonio FC wants to do, continue to attack, continue to try to exploit the fullbacks for Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2, but if you're Vancouver, kind of like you mentioned, you're probably not expecting much in the way of change here in the second half, are you?
Yeah, at this point, you're probably feeling pretty confident in what you've done. You let Tierpak loose a little bit on the weak side and a good ball in from Cochran, but overall haven't given anything too terribly dangerous up and have stayed in the game. So at this point, really trying to stay consistent and see what the first 15 minutes plays out as, and then you start to adjust from there.
David Norman, who had the only shot on target for Vancouver in that first half with the ball now. As he finds Marco Bustos off his left foot into the box, cleared away. DeVries will step up. Bustos to the outside. Serbin. And Restrepo has to come out and step over Gloria Manda to take that ball away from him.
Yeah, and you see an early look here with Vancouver getting around the outside and trying to whip a ball in across the face. Restrepo does a good job of coming out and claiming it, but you see the little bit of confidence that they picked up as the half went on, coming out early and showing that confidence with some creative activity in the final third.
Unable to get that pass through. At the back end there was Seymour here, and so now opportunity for San Antonio FC. Ryan Rishandel. Just his third appearance of the season. Tierpak. This ball for Newnham on the outside into the area, but in no particular direction of a San Antonio FC player, though it is going to result here in the third corner of the match for San Antonio FC.
SAFC will really be happy with the final product of that situation. On the other hand, Vancouver can't be happy with that.
So Omar Gordon, who delivered the first corner for San Antonio FC in the opening half, will deliver the first corner here in the second half. Over by the far stick. Shallow play into the box and cleared away easily. I liked your point, though. Vancouver playing with a lot of confidence to start the second half, generated by what they were able to do at the end of the first half. And we'll see how San Antonio FC can kind of adjust to that, because they really didn't see much in the way of pressure in the first half.
You know, I've shied away a little bit from the use of the word complacency, but certainly as the half closed out, looked to be a little bit complacent, gave up that late look, albeit a shot from 30 yards out. It was well taken. It was certainly dangerous. Restrepo maybe caught a little bit off guard by it and just giving an unnecessary chance away. But with a young team like Vancouver, that's going to translate into confidence in the second half. And again, we've seen that in just the first couple of minutes.
And a great job by Billy Forbes along the touchline, and he'll earn the fourth corner for San Antonio FC. There's some fancy footwork there by the Turks and Caicos native as he was able to slip through two defenders and set up the corner.
And to SAFC credit, one way to manage the other team feeling a little bit of confidence is to really put them under pressure. Here you see two virtually back-to-back corners, always dangerous opportunities to have a free service into the box.
Gordon, this was a better ball into the six, but cleared out of the area there by Seiler. Omar Gordon, deep ball this time. Rishandel will track it down outside the area. Tierpak with another header, but this one well played by Melvin. Rishandel able to volley one along, and Tierpak almost about the same spot where he got the first one. Didn't catch it as well as he did the first one back in the opening half.
Yeah, that was a very different type of service in the first half than that one there. But a good effort to try to get up on it and redirect it. Just didn't have the pace to put it past the keeper and be dangerous.
Serbin. Off Cochran, Ibiaga. Omar Gordon off to the races on the left flank. Cuts back to the inside, back to the outside. David Norman going inside and outside, but Gordon not with the best finish there on the pass, trying to continue the play. And now a counter here for Vancouver as Declan Wynn works it upfield. Thomas Sanner, and a late flag on Sanner. Not overly thrilled with the call by the assistant referee.
And his coach won't be overly thrilled with his positioning there on the outside, being called offside. That last time down from when you look at that, a transitional piece of the game. Transition's always such an important piece anyway, but really we're looking at a 4v4 scenario and just weren't able to get anything dangerous out of it. Again, those are the types of things that an SAFC side who's maybe struggling to get that second goal, they can look and capitalize on those opportunities. It really changes the complexion of the game.
Newnham's ball was intended for Tierpak, but got away there from Ben a little bit. And so Declan Wynn will take the throw-in. make Wynn take it again. Opening minutes, second half here at Toyota Field. San Antonio FC in a familiar position with the lead here at home, but only a 1-goal lead. They've struggled to come up with goals here at home in the second half. And Newnham, they play on, couldn't earn the foul just outside the area. Vega. Gordon along the outside. Tierpak just couldn't get under it. Service from Omar Gordon from the corner box. A little bit of hesitation, and I think SAFC was almost anticipating the foul to be called and the free kick to be awarded, and when it wasn't called, it kind of got everything disjointed there.
Yeah, and even when you see Billy pick up the ball there just inside the box, he was just waiting for the play to develop just a little bit more, but the defense wasn't having it. He was really, I think, looking to try to take a vertical touch up the field to see if he couldn't take one on frame, but just didn't develop quite that way.
Marco Bustos. Seymour, Bustos to the outside. Cochran, a throw in here for Serbin. Bustos, a little bit of room. Top of the box, pulls it back out. Declan Wynn.
There you see Bustos doing a good job of floating into those little spaces.
Sanner. Wynn. Hesitation. A tough ball there to be played by the defense and back upfield here. San Antonio FC. Substitutions, by the way, for Vancouver to tell you about here. To those in a second. They came on at halftime. As into the area, Francis De Vries will clear it away from danger. Matthew Baldissimo has come on along with Caden Chung here for Vancouver to start the second half. Baldissimo wearing 65 and Chung wearing 63. And San Antonio FC with a throw in here. And there is Baldissimo and Chung as we see them.
And a great work ethic there from Gordon, really on both sides, to bring that initial diagonal ball down and keep in possession, and then to work back defensively there and keep it in this end.
Thomas Gardner and Will Seymour were the two Vancouver players who came out right at halftime. So San Antonio FC, see a couple of fresh Vancouver legs out there here, and 19-year-old Matthew Baldissimo, the 18-year-old Caden Chung. Declan Wynn. Ibiaga. There's Chung. Gloria Manda tackled outside the box, and a good challenge there for San Antonio FC as they'll push forward. Ryan Rochandle will give to Tierpak. Tierpak lofts it along. Vega gets under it. Forced to the outside. Turns it back in. De Vries with a header clearing it back out. Omar Gordon will send it across field. Billy Forbes. Billy trying to slip one through. It's blocked out to the top of the area. And a shot that's blocked off of De Vries and ricochets over to Chung. Serbin for Amanda turning back upfield. And on the attack now here along with Baldissimo. Gloria Amanda. Bustos making the run diagonally to his left. Amanda on the counter. Slips around Hedrick. Steps into Ibiaga, though, takes it away.
Such a solid presence from Ibiaga. Love having him in the back line, don't you? But you see the game really starting to open up, going both directions now. Again, a testament to the type of confidence that Vancouver picked up in the latter part of that first half. It's really manifesting here in the start of the second half, and it's turning out to be quite a good match here as both sides are really kind of going for it a little bit through the middle stretch.
I mean, typically I would say that would favor San Antonio FC with the talent and skill they have, but it does leave them a little bit susceptible in the back on those counters to Vancouver here again with a 1-goal lead. Declan Wynn. The area, and again, that's another easy clearance, this time from Hedrick. Norman gets under the ball, a nice save along the touch line by Wynn.
You can even identify the Vancouver, the posture they're playing with in the start of the second half. They're far more on their front foot as opposed to on their back studs. You know, early on in the first half of the game, they really were on their back studs, trying to just manage SAFC, but they've really shifted forward now and are trying to get numbers forward and committing numbers to the final third and creating danger.
Hallmark of a young team, right? You're always going to try to feel the game out, absorb it, you know, take your pressure, absorb it, and then try to hopefully find your channels, pick your seams, and then go for it, as you say.
There you see Cochrane get down the left-hand side again, a little bit more likely was in the early stages of the first half.
Tierpak, Newnham, back to Tierpak, just wide of goal though.
We're really seeing both teams trading these sort of 10 pass possessions from one side to the other. Tierpak on a run here, getting into the box, just got under it. Just couldn't stay over the top of the ball and keep it down on frame.
Three very critical points for San Antonio FC. It began the night 42 and a magic number of 20 to clinch the franchise's first playoff spot in its second year. Any combination of points earned or points conceded by the teams at the bottom of the top 8, or even perhaps the top 10 or 11 when you consider the games in hand for some of the teams outside of the playoff picture. Maxi Rodriguez pushing forward, tried to play it back to himself and kind of got lucky there with Tierpak on the support. Tierpak losing the ball. It comes in the direction of Omar Gordon. His opportunity is blocked into the seats, but for San Antonio FC, 3 very critical points here tonight to try to trim that magic number down. Newnham, and a good job getting back. Gloria Amanda under the ball.
This must be the 4th or 5th corner, third just of this half, I think.
Yep, 5th of the match, 3rd of the half for San Antonio FC. Omar Gordon's going to come over to take it here in the 60th minute. San Antonio FC still with that 1-0 lead. Sean Melvin barking instructions to his defense in the 6-yard box. Another short delivery there on the service from Gordon. Billy Forbes will give it back outside. Vega in his sweet spot, blocked, well read there by the defense of Vancouver and David Norman.
Another corner service, just not quite of the quality that they need. I feel like that's something we've talked about throughout the season thus far. They're just not getting enough out of those balls.
Tierpak volleys, Omar Gordon over goal. Another glorious scoring chance in the area for San Antonio FC, and that was Sebastian Ibiaga, rather, on that final touch, who got way upfield.
Well done again here from Tierpak just to keep it alive.
DeVries back to his keeper. Cole Seiler Vancouver onside. Opportunity. Oh, very, very late whistle.
That really was another diagonal attempt. Really was a mishit. Didn't hit it cleanly and just faded back centrally. I think caught Restrepo a little bit unsuspecting. Here you see. But listen again, great defending from Ben Noonan. Great positioning there on the weak side, tucking in and just recognizing where that line was and drawing him into an offside position. I've been impressed tonight with the way he's organized himself, in particular on that weak side defensively.
As Matthew Baldissimo just came on with the offside. Ibiaga with a rare giveaway. As Amanda takes it away, but Ibiaga good positioning to get back, and now we'll get the foul on Gloria Amanda, and then a little bit of extra push from Amanda after the fact too. Already the third and final sub coming on for Vancouver here will be Taryn Campbell, another 18-year-old, as he'll enter the game for Thomas Sanner. So you've now got Amanda, an 18-year-old in the match. David Norman, a 19-year-old in the match. Taryn Campbell, an 18-year-old in the match. Caden Chung, an 18-year-old in the match. Matthew Baldissimo, 19 years old. Down and down the list for Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2. The phrase men against boys, I don't think does it enough justice. And yet here is this young, scrappy Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2 team on the road, only down by 1.
Now you've got to applaud their resilience as a young team to go. This be the second half of their road swing here in Texas.
Bustos to the outside, Taryn Campbell. And that's easily played by Diego Restrepo. Taryn Campbell had 20 goals playing a year ago in the academy under Rich Fagan for that under 18 squad. They like his potential progress as a striker upfield. Kept alive by Noonan. Vega. Around DeVries. Vega. Forbes!
Goodness. Well played from Devin Vega. We've talked about him throughout the season as well. He does such a really good job in these wide areas at running at players. There he caught DeVries almost standing still. A great ball across. And that's just, he'll be disappointed with that.
It's not been Billy's night tonight. He's had his moments, a couple of what would have been early in the season surefire goals for Billy Forbes, and one, the keeper Melvin making a great save on. This one just goes off the heel of his foot and awry of goal. Bustos to the outside. Vancouver will get their first corner of the match here in the 65th minute, as David Norman's going to come over to take it.
SAFC supporters there having a few things to say about this corner.
Left-footed in swinger. Good ball. Restrepo's got to climb the ladder to come out and get it. And brings it down. You see Restrepo holding the top of his head, and a little bit of a collision there with Cole Seiler creeping forward. See whether Seiler is going to earn a caution here, as Tyler Mitchum will come over and speak with the young center back.
Yeah, I hope for the sake of the game he doesn't issue him a caution there. There's nothing to it.
Restrepo is up. Seiler will not go into the books here. San Antonio FC surviving what was a pretty good delivery from David Norman. Almost put it right in the perfect spot there, opposite corner of the 6-yard box, and wasn't a ton of traffic. Most of them playing off to the opposite post.
Yeah, it was a big looping ball coming in. Almost sets everyone's timing off because it came in with such height and rotation down over to that weak side. I think threw a lot of people's timings off. The runs were in a little bit early, and it was really just the two of them there on the weak side. And fortunately, the collision wasn't anything serious.
Fan stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune in to USL Coast to Coast. Mike Watts, Mondays at 8 Central on Sirius XM FC, Channel 85. Don't forget, Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. As we get set to cross over into the 68th minute here at Toyota Field, as Terran Campbell makes the run. Campbell the delivery into the box. Hedrick the diagonal clear out of play, and second straight corner for Vancouver. San Antonio FC continues to lead 1-0, but a much more confident Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2 team on the attack here in the second half.
Now you see Terran Campbell coming in here relatively late in the game and already having his impact felt. Getting a good ball in across, forcing Hedrick to play it off.
Norman into the box. Dangerous ball bouncing around, but comes to Omar Gordon, who will bring it out. Great challenge by Declan Wynn to win the ball away. Bustos hesitates. Bustos. Now he just couldn't slip it through. Norman playing back to the outside. Wynn lifts it into the box. Cleared away.
I think that's Caden Chung. That last time had a really good tackle against Omar Gordon. Keeping the ball penned in. The SAFC defensive third.
Vega. Return it to Cochran. San Antonio FC trying to slow down what's been a scrappy attack from Vancouver in the second half. Tierpak finds a seam around Baldissimo. Rashandel. Bit of a tug, play on. Settled down by Seiler. Baldissimo. Win along the outside. Campbell looking to make the run. Campbell will come back for the ball. Tierpak with a collision, but they play on. Norman quickly upfield. Gloria Manda slips it through. Marco Bustos into the box, but he couldn't get to it. Good job by Ibiaga and Cochran coming back. Interception here, Serbin. Campbell into the box, a chance, and just wide of goal. As Gloria Manda this close to equalizing in the 70th minute.
Yeah, really a nice bit of play there from Vancouver. This young group is doing a great job of really pushing the envelope here in the second half. Here you see a ball across, a nice little vertical pass, an interchange, and just missed it wide.
So San Antonio FC will put in Connor Presley to make his first appearance since joining the club, as he'll come on for Chris Tierpak in the 71st minute. Wearing number 27. Cochran making the run upfield. Presley pushing forward. One of the newest acquisitions for San Antonio FC. Connor Presley, the midfielder, Neal High School.
SAFC matching teenager for teenager.
Yep.
The best they can, anyway.
Yes. Shandel with a strike over goal. Connor Presley joined the FC Dallas Academy back in 2014, the native of Austin. It's Darren Campbell now on the attack in the box, and clearance away by Sebastian, or rather Cyprian Hedrick.
Vancouver continuing to work themselves and assert themselves here in the second half of the game.
Third minute, San Antonio FC with a 1-0 lead. Possession, you see, has just clearly gotten closer and closer as the match has gone forward. Better half for Vancouver, taking on the good finish from the opening half. And now an opportunity on the counter again. Amanda, who didn't miss by much just a moment ago. Aldisimo pushing forward. Here's Bustos, ever dangerous with the ball. Comes back out to Norman. The strike is over goal.
Norman again having to go from distance. I think he was the one that just at the end of the first half took that strike from distance on Restrepo. But again, you've got to applaud Vancouver Whitecaps. Just continuing to push, continuing to find the energy, continuing to find the quality to get themselves into position to be dangerous. And SAFC are really just clinging right now to that one goal. Although I would venture to say their cling is pretty casual.
Yeah. Maxi Rodriguez absorbing the foul. The collision with Francis DeVries, the captain. Devin Vega. Rodriguez, Noonan on the outside. Some good passing here along is Rodriguez for Vega. To Rodriguez as they'll try to work the right flank along now. Some good patience displayed here. Vega interchanging with Noonan on that right side. Rodriguez, and he'll work it back.
Lots of big spaces opening up here in the middle part of the park. Neither team really giving up anything in their defensive third, but happy to give away possession for a period in their middle third.
Good ball to the outside. Cochran will get under this one. Connor Presley. Good service. Noonan was pushed a little bit from behind by Norman. Not egregious enough to result in a foul. It was Declan Wynn actually who got him there on the backside, not David Norman.
Pretty decent ball there from Presley. Noonan got caught inside a little bit early.
Bustos, boy, it opened up for him a little bit there as Cyprian Hedrick got turned a little bit inside out, but no danger out of it. Omar Gordon the other way.
Yeah, let's go, Gordon! Let's go, Gordon!
Gordon blocked out of the area by Cole Seiler. So we saw one debut for the high schooler Connor Presley, and now we'll see the San Antonio FC debut of Mike Seth. 29-year-old who was signed a couple of weeks ago will take out Omar Gordon here in the 77th minute. And a fine game for Gordon in his second start with San Antonio FC.
Absolutely. Delightful for the SAFC crowd here tonight. I thought he did a really nice job of staying busy, staying active throughout his 77 minutes tonight there on the left-hand side. Afforded Darren Powell and the coaching staff to push Billy Forbes up into that back line and force those two central defenders for Vancouver to have to stay home and honor that. I think opened up a lot of space for the rest of the team in order to be able to do that. And really a great contribution from Omar
Fans
Gordon.
really applauding the efforts of Omar Gordon here tonight. Here's Mike Seth. Started the year in Phoenix, just 4 appearances though. Did not factor into their scoring. 17 career USL goals. Last year playing in Colorado Springs. Prior to that, spending time in Pittsburgh. As he comes on here for his San Antonio FC debut in the 77th minute. Gloria Amanda as Hedrick with a tug. And a dangerous free kick opportunity here coming up. And a frustrated Gloria Amanda, who I think maybe wanted the foul called a little bit sooner perhaps.
Yeah, he did. I think the ref did a good job of allowing that to develop in the event that he got some advantage out of it. You're going to see him get Hedrick on the wrong side of him. Really did a nice job of forcing him around the outside. Maybe a little bit by accident more than design, but forced the foul there anyway. And got the free kick out of it.
So from the edge of the box, as Bustos comes over here on the set piece for Whitecaps FC 2, 78th minute. Dangerous spot here, Bustos, good in swing. Hedrick heads it down, parried, brought down, headed on goal, and it's cleared out of danger. And an outstanding job there by Cyprian Hedrick and Ryan Rashandel protecting that back line.
That's what we might refer to a little bit of a cluster. However, here we go out the other side.
Vega, as he tried to go over top to Billy Forbes, instead to Sean Melvin, who's had a easier time here in the second half. It's still San Antonio FC with a 1-0 lead, although close chances for both sides here. Norman, Terran Campbell, Billy Forbes, side of his foot, David Norman, falls down on the ball, turns it over. Noonan, back to Billy, edge of the box. Forbes, Connor Presley just wide of goal. What an opportunity for the youngster.
What a debut that would have been for the young man from Austin. But really, you're going to see it start, well, we're going to miss the front end of that, but see there Billy playing that ball in nicely to the end of a Connor Presley run. But really what we saw was a commitment to the ground from David Norman here. I think he just didn't really realize where the pressure was coming from. Committed to the ground, made a little bit of a mess of the defensive play, which created that. But credit to SAFC for being able to turn that into something dangerous.
Here was the cluster that you were referring to before. Hedrick, Maxi Rodriguez, and then Ryan Rashandel. With a booming clearance out of there off the back line.
Yeah, just a little bit of unbalanced misdirection there from Hedrick on that first touch, but a good defensive effort from SAFC. Vancouver continuing to cause problems.
Evan Vega still down inside the area here on the Vancouver side of the field. As we come into the final 10 minutes of the match, San Antonio FC just clinging on to that 1-0 lead over Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2, and Evan Vega slow to his feet, slow to walk off to the side. appears that looks like Vega's night will come to an end here, is the way he's walking off. And so San Antonio FC is going to quickly get their final substitute ready, but right now a man down for the time being.
And really some good contribution from Devin Vega tonight. I thought he was very much an engine for them going forward to the final third of the field. Certainly not uncharacteristic of a Devin Vega performance.
This is Victor Araujo. Looks like he's going to get set to come on in for the injured Vega here at the end. Meanwhile, San Antonio FC, a man down. Right now here with Vancouver on the attack, Matthew Baldissimo. Seiler. Amanda. Nice ball. Caden Chung. Back to Gloria Amanda. Shot blocked by Ibiaga. Cochran. He'll concede the corner here, which will be the third of the match for Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2, as now Victor Araujo will come to the table. The Whitecaps player down on the pitch as well. There's Amanda, who's back to his feet. What an adventurous second half for that young man, who had maybe Vancouver's best chance to equalize. Just sent it wide of goal.
Yeah, he really did take that pretty well. He just pushed it wide of the post. But he's really been, Gloria Amanda has really been in the middle of almost everything that's been dangerous for Vancouver here this second half, creating a real presence there across the face of goal.
Parried away by Restrepo on the in-swing delivery. There's Norman back on the ball with a strike on goal, just wide. Norman's not afraid to take it from distance, and he's got a pretty accurate shot too from that range.
Yeah, we've seen him several times throughout the evening from outside the area have the confidence to test the goalkeeper, and he's done so.
He's been part of the prospects and residency program, as we mentioned, since he was 9 years old, following in the footsteps of his father, longtime Whitecap and Canadian national team player. Looking for his first goal of this season. Should be quite the equalizer for Vancouver if they can pull it off here in the final stages of the match. Bustos to the outside. Declan Wynn. And a handball on Wynn, trying to play that one along to himself.
I think he might have been caught offside there on this weak side. Based on the disgust of the staff, I would assume that's the call.
The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com and follow them on Twitter @USL. Victor Araujo on for Devin Vega here. The late stages of the match, Araujo's 5th appearance of the season.
I had the opportunity of watching Victor, a native of Brazil, play his collegiate ball here in town. A very, very good collegiate player. Still, I think, transitioning into the professional game, but he's got a tremendous bag of skills, if you will.
What was a promising rookie season for him ended very prematurely in June of last year with the leg injury that we witnessed against Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC that ended his season. Bustos, a lot of daylight for him. Bustos, good job there. San Antonio FC will get back defensively. There's Araujo there in the mix. Bustos around Connor Presley. Taryn Campbell. 87th minute here at Toyota Field. 1-0 San Antonio FC in what is maybe their biggest week of the season to date. Vancouver Whitecaps FC2 is not going down without a fight. They've given the home side just about everything they can take here at this point. And yet still, they're just a bounce or a mistake away from equalizing things.
And already seen multiple of those scenarios that could potentially have gone the wrong way for SAFC. Has unfortunately been characteristic of this side throughout the course of the season, as we've talked about throughout the show here tonight. Like to see them finish out the game. On the flip side, if you're a Vancouver Whitecaps fan, you like to see this young team try to get in and steal something here in the late stages of this match. They certainly wouldn't be undeserving of it.
This will be a throw-in for San Antonio FC. Soccer fans, Nike's an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, go to NikeSoccer.com. San Antonio FC trying to see these last few minutes through, earn the result. They get their first win here at Toyota Field since June 17th. Bustos. Baldissimo. Back to Bustos in the box, and he's hauled down, and they play on. But there was no hesitation from the center referee on that one.
A big deep breath for SAFC fans, I think, after last week.
Bustos, and good played there by Hedrick. Able to stay with the ball and push forward. Araujo in space. Connor Presley. Forbes.
You see patience from SAFC. Off of the foot of Billy Forbes, decided to pull it back, slow things down a little bit. Billy's put in a lot of work through 89 minutes thus far.
Counter opportunity here for Vancouver. Matthew Baldissimo plays to the outside for Chris Serbin. Baldissimo upfield. Campbell under the ball. Campbell! And the offside flag.
Never came up.
No, it didn't.
And those are the chances late in the game that we've been talking about all night. Was certainly kept onside there on the weak side. I was singing the praises of Ben Noonan for his positioning and organization on the weak side, and there he was badly out of position.
Restrepo is going to get another yellow card here for delay. It's the second time that's happened to him here in the last few weeks. In the 90th minute, he gets the card.
At this point, he's trying to eliminate the opportunity for a mistake. But yeah, what a bad miss from Campbell, who's really come on and been a nice addition.
4 minutes of stoppage time here. Whitecaps FC2 has been so close here. Billy Forbes. Get it back. Araujo. Vancouver will try to push quickly.
A miss hit there from Victor. As I said earlier, he's a very technical player, very strong player. Just didn't quite catch that cleanly at all. And here we are back in play going the other direction.
Cochran. Vancouver with a throw-in. 3 minutes or so remaining here in stoppage time. San Antonio FC trying to see this result out, up 1-0 on Whitecaps FC 2. Norman upfield. This one's a little bit too strong, and Restrepo able to hang on here.
Great diving collection there from Restrepo.
Seiler. Switches ends. Not the best ball though. Connor Presley. A little bit of good work for him. Slips it into the midfield. Deflected away, Araujo. San Antonio FC as we're halfway through stoppage time. Maxi Rodriguez trying to keep it alive but concedes possession. Oh, he'll catch a break. As Caden Chung couldn't keep it alive along the touchline. 90 seconds or so left.
Little game management here from SAFC, doing a decent job of just getting themselves to the final whistle.
There'll be a goal kick here. Melvin quickly moving forward. DeVries. Declan Wynn. Darren Campbell. Back to Wynn. Behind the play, David Norman to the collision against Ben Newnham, and then Newnham gets back up, and Norman, Newnham and Ibiaga and Hedrick all have to be separated. Restrepo. As he talks to Connor Presley.
Yeah, the young Norman trying to expedite the process. Not really the right decision from his standpoint, nor the standpoint of Ben Newnham, and he heard about it.
San Antonio FC grinds out a victory here at home. A big 3 points to start an important week as they earn a 1-0 victory over Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2 that was pesky and gave San Antonio all they could handle tonight, but that man, Chris Tierpak, his finish in the 14th minute of the match serves as the deciding 3 points tonight for San Antonio FC.
Yeah, as we talked about throughout the night, it was a great goal, a great ball in from Cochran on the left-hand side, but really took a good goal tonight to finish off Vancouver, and it wasn't finished until it was finished. They stayed in the game the whole match, and again, kudos to them and the young team that they brought into town. They did a great job, had some good chances tonight, didn't execute them, were very close to the equalizer on multiple occasions. And as you said, SAFC squeaked it out for 3 points tonight.
San Antonio FC's 12th win of the season, now 45 points. Diego Restrepo picks up his 8th win of the year and his 10th clean sheet. He's now 3 back of Brian Miller for the all-time record. Lance, pleasure. We'll see you back here on Saturday.
Look forward to it.
San Antonio FC's next match Saturday night. San Antonio FC faces Portland Timbers 2 from Toyota Field. Watch the 7:30 kickoff live with myself, Lance Key, and Glenn Davis on Fox Sports Southwest. Now for Lance Key and our entire crew, I'm Dan Weiss. Our final from Toyota Field, San Antonio FC 1, Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2-0. The following has been a presentation of the United Soccer League and Spurs Sports and Entertainment. So long, everybody.